Yes, indeed. So now this morning, of course, we have the privilege of hosting doctor, author, and transgender activist Anastacia Tomson with us on our Feel Good couch. Of course, she's also the author of the book Always Anastacia that talks about being a transgender woman in South Africa. Now, earlier on, we also opened up our social media lines and asked you to give your comments, maybe ask your questions if you have any, and if you'd allow me to put those forward to you, Anastacia. Andrew Williams says here, sounds like acceptance will be a difficult journey generally, perhaps more so in South Africa being a conservative country. Do you think that plays a big role, our conservative nature in society as South Africans, that is kind of inhibiting us from making progress?
You know, I think it absolutely does, and the argument that I put forward there is that South Africa has a very progressive legislation and constitution. It is one of the best in the world. You know, when it comes to LGBT stuff and trans rights, it's not right at the top, but it's pretty good.
Yeah.
Despite that, there's still a lot of stigma and prejudice and a lot of barriers that trans people in particular face. And I think a lot of that is more societal in origin. It's really the way people are thinking and the way they've been conditioned to think.
Yeah.
So I definitely think that plays a role, and we do have a lot of work to do that.
Absolutely. Another comment coming from Maritza Karitzis, if I'm saying that correctly, I hope so. It says, my heart goes out to you. I believe everyone should feel free to be who they want to be and show love. That is what everyone should do. Sandile Cedric Zide says, people should learn to let people be who they want to be. Another one from Lydia Limao. Morning, I'd like to say to Anastacia that I'm proud of her embracing who she is, because some of us are still scared to be ourselves because of the stigma and the hate crimes we encounter in the country and the communities that we live in. She's my inspiration and I thank her. How does that make you feel?
That is, I mean, it's heartwarming and it's heart-wrenching at the same time, because that struggle for identity, and like I said, it's different for everyone, but you know, to have to live in fear of your life, in fear of being physically assaulted, sexually assaulted, corrective rape, all these horrible, disgusting things that happen to people just for being who they are, because this is not a choice. You know, the fact that we're queer, that we're trans, that we're lesbian, whatever it is, it's just a part of who we are. Yeah. And people don't always understand that there's nothing wrong with that. Yeah. And that causes a lot of people to have to live in fear, which I think is so tragic.
Yeah. Well, thank you very much for all of your comments that came through from home on our social media platforms. I've got to ask this. You told me earlier on that the book is doing particularly well, Always Anastacia. Is this the end of the journey for you? What lies ahead?
I think it's the beginning of the journey, but I don't know what lies ahead other than to say it's a roller coaster. We're busy promoting the book now, having some dialogues and conversations, really trying to spread the word and open those lines of conversation. Then in about 2.5 weeks' time, I'm off to the United States. I'm going on the Mandela Washington Fellowship together with 999 other fellows from across Africa to engage in a very dynamic leadership development program. It's President Obama's baby, this program. It belongs to him. There's going to be a summit in DC at the end of it. And it's all very exciting and very unpredictable. Yeah.
Well, we're very excited for you and very happy and so honored to have had you here, part of our show today, and sharing your incredible story, which tells of courage and I'm sure has inspired many, many South Africans out there. Thank you so much.
It's my absolute pleasure. Thank you.
Well, the book is called Always Anastacia and is now countrywide available. So go out there, read about it. It is time that we all as a society, especially here in South Africa, start opening up our minds to the rights of other people to be exactly who they want to be. Right now, let's go over to Ilana, and I believe Zola is in the kitchen, and we're going to be making something delicious a bit later on.